Hey, Sagittarius, intuitive soul coach here with your April 2023 love reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. Today we'll dive into the collective energy of Sagittarius and take a look at all things related to love. Whether you are currently single, partnered up, perhaps you're going through a complicated matter with someone close to your heart, we'll dive into all the energies. So please do take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in a personal reading or entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find both of those links in the description box below. All right, they're giving me the name here, Patrick. So it could be a last name, it could be a first name, a street, a location, or it could be symbolic for something around maybe St. Patty's Day or St. Patrick's Day. Please take that as it resonates. Now we have here in the recent past, Sagittarius, we have the chickens. This is about being in the moment, but I'm also getting this energy here of vulnerability, taking a risk, putting yourself out there. So a lot of you, it's very important for you to let your guard down in a relationship or if you are looking for love. So being in the moment instead of letting distractions come in and hinder you from making progress or hinder you from your goals. There's something here about taking a risk, taking a chance, not being in an essence here, not being a chicken, right? And bravery, courage comes from vulnerability. And this is about you being in the moment, enjoying time with loved ones, time with your partner, instead of focusing on bringing the past into the present or thinking too far into the future if you are looking for love, and just enjoying the now. Because in the present month of April, you have this fire that is reigniting within you. And it's going to reignite the passion in a relationship if you are in one. And it's going to stir that fire within if you are single. And it's going to allow you to move forward in steady growth. Because when this fire shows up, you are ambitious. If you felt a little bit burnt out, or if you thought something wasn't going to turn out, or maybe you thought you'd be lonely forever, single forever, or a relationship was fizzling out, something is rekindling here. I really like the fire showing up. Now, some of you Sagittarians, I mean, this is your energy here of the wands, that fiery, passionate, driven source within. And you may not have felt that for a while, but it caused and allowed you to really get truly present with what it is that you were seeking in yourself, in another, in a partnership. And moving forward in the near future, you have the forest. This is all about steady growth. This is about the light at the end of the tunnel. So it wouldn't surprise me to see maybe the Six of Swords showing up, even the Eight of Cups, because I feel like you're heading towards more happiness now that you've regained some sort of momentum that you may have felt you've lost a while back. Now let's dive into your reading here, Sagittarius. Now some of you may have strong Scorpio placements, or you may be on that Scorpionic cusp as well. If so, you may want to check out that reading, because I'm getting Scorpio, I'm pulled towards Scorpio. So I do apologize if I call you Scorpio at all, because I'm just feeling that strong energy. It could be someone else as well. You have the Emperor showing up, releasing some sort of need to control a situation and going more with the flow. And I just put out a collective video, flow versus control. If you haven't seen yet, it is for all signs. Very powerful messages from the divine. I'll link it in the description box below if you do struggle with control, or if someone is having a power play, or if you feel a little bit held back due to any limiting beliefs or due to maybe some father wounding or childhood wounding. But this is about regaining a sense of stability for yourself, for your relationship, because the Emperor is all about stability. They represent authority as well. So it could certainly be, again, a paternal figure here for you. It could be about order, structure, but the biggest thing is to learn to question. Learn to question. Why is this happening? Learn to question and talk about the difficult things. And that is something that so few of us want to do, because it's hard, right? And it's hard and it's vulnerable. And we don't always want to talk about the things that are uncomfortable. We try to go out of our way to avoid it. And I feel like this is the month for you to shake things up, stir things up, ask the questions, get uncomfortable, uncomfortable, get vulnerable, because that's going to lead you towards this growth. Now, Sagittarius, let's take a look at the block or the challenge that may be showing up for you in the month of April and how we can help you overcome it. What do we have as the challenge, please? The Hermit, getting out of hibernation, because some of you have been in that hibernation mode, but it's maybe led to a little bit of loneliness, isolation. Talking about the hard things as well does show up with you reaching out, asking for help instead of feeling like you have to do it all on your own, because that can be a sense of control, right? We feel like we can control it all ourselves. We feel like we can do everything ourselves, even if we're single, right? We don't need anyone. And yes, you may be able to do all these things by yourself, but it doesn't mean you want to. We crave, as a human, we crave these human experiences, belonging, connection, collaboration, and love. So there's a sense of you, a piece of you here with this Hermit energy that feels rejected, feels withdrawn, and feels lonely. And it's important for you, of course, to take a step back and gain the necessary knowledge, but don't allow yourself to stay in that comfortable zone, because even comfortability can be unhealthy, right? Being in the comfort zone doesn't always mean that it's good for us. Stepping outside of the box, questioning the status quo, talking about the difficult things, whether it's with your partner or with a therapist, a coach, or even yourself, right? And the challenge for you is to come out of the box necessarily. For others of you as well, it could be telling someone how you feel truly about them. It can be, I'm getting here for some of you, it may be difficult to express or share that you have feelings for someone. I'm getting here also, it's not going to resonate with all of you, but there's different dynamics in relationships. This could be same sex. This could be non-traditions, breaking free, because they're showing me the Hierophant as well. Even though we haven't seen it come up here, I feel like you're doing something differently that's rebuilding your structure, rebuilding your foundation. So something that you may have thought was taboo, or it was unheard of, or you couldn't find love in the way that you thought. I feel like you're putting a creative spin or a twist on how you bring in this energy. King of Wands, beautiful. This is your energy here. This is you marching to the beat of your own drum. And that's kind of that energy I was picking up on with that Hierophant, about you being able to make decisions for yourself, of course, but being able to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, attract that love that you want, connect with others, because deep down, you don't want to feel this loneliness and withdrawn and isolation. You don't want to feel rejected, abandoned. Excuse me. Some of you may have had a father who'd abandon you early on, or you may have had a significant other who is very dominant, very forceful, and you've had to leave them behind. Okay, when this King of Wands shows up in your foundation, this is you, Sagittarius. This is that fiery, and look at what he's holding on to. He's holding on to that drumstick and that drum, and look what's shining from that. It's his fire. This is his goals, right? So whatever it is that you want, you can hit that target. You can hit that goal. But do you believe that this is possible for you here? You're very adventurous at heart. You're very warm. You are very successful and very passionate and very driven. Don't lose that magic within. That's what you are made of. That's what you are all about. So if you feel a little bit isolated, reach out. And that can be a challenge for you for whatever reason. Even if you're introverted. Now, just because you have this King of Wands doesn't mean that you have to be extrovert and you have to, put yourself out there every single day in crowds and things like that. It's just about you opening yourself up to even a couple of people that you can build that trust with. Now, in the recent past, you do have the Page of Wands. This is about you keeping your eye open, right? It's about you discovering things about people, about yourself. Some of you may have put yourself on maybe a dating app, or you've put yourself open to love, but it just wasn't exactly what you thought it would be, right? You thought you would attract your soulmate, and maybe you just came up to a bunch of duds. For others of you, if you were in a relationship, you wanted a fresh start, a new beginning where you could see through each other. You could see to the truth. You could be honest with each other. This is about an opportunity here for growth. And even though you may have felt things would be unpredictable, I feel like it's important to stay in that beginner's mindset of constantly learning about each other. If you've been in a relationship for 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, it's important for you to continue keeping that spark alive. Otherwise, we become routine and we can build even resentment and anger, and it settles, right? It settles, which can be comfortable. But if you want that deeper love, or if you want more vulnerability, then you must open up and discover more things about each other. Take new classes, new hobbies, things of that nature. And for a lot of you, I am getting that you're single and looking, or your heart's open, but there still could be some sort of issue around control, parenting, dominance, stability that may be affecting at times, or blocking or hindering the success of your love. And I just did a video as well, I'll link it below, around blocks and limitations, and it is again for all signs. So let's take a look and see what you're manifesting, Sagittarius. What are you manifesting? Oh wow, you have the Emperor showing up again. Now some of you are saying, how is that possible? It's the same deck. The creator of this deck, Katrin Weltstein, created a feminine and masculine version of each of the kings, including the Emperor. You show up with this feminine version, right? You show up with this counterpart of something you're healing. Now, what are you attracting? You're attracting here, or manifesting, this masculine version, taking action on something that you're wanting to manifest, action-oriented goals, right? So it's showing up double whammy here for you. So whatever you're getting ambitious on, whatever you've healed or you've worked through, or you're trying to navigate forward on, there's going to be steady growth and there's going to be stability. And that's what you are looking at. That's what you are manifesting. And this looks to be really beautiful for you. All right, Sagittarius, what is showing up in the near future? What is showing up in the near future? 10 of Wands. You're determined, but some of you are still carrying some of these heavy burdens, right? Heavy burdens that may be weighing upon you. Maybe the burdens are of loneliness, are of insecurity, are of control, manipulation. I mean, it could be any burdens. It could be limiting beliefs, or perhaps you are needing to take care of even a parent. I just heard some of you maybe taking care of, or even living with your parents, or you may have children, adult children living with you as well. And I'm not saying that those people are burdens, but it may feel at times like it's a burdensome situation, and you carry and hold a lot of those responsibilities. You may feel like you have to be many different people, or play many different roles for many different people, and that you're tugged at each direction you go. Now, the 10 of Wands can be that energy of bringing others in to lighten the load. If you feel like you have a lot, bring in others. That is the challenge for you with the Hermit. Whatever you are hanging on to, whether you get professional guidance, go see a healer, a coach, a mentor, a psychic, a therapist, anyone who can help you unload some of that heaviness that weighs upon you. Even get a massage done, do some energy work, go see a Reiki practitioner. Anyone can help you release those burdens. You don't have to go it alone, even if you've told yourself that for 60 years. You don't have to do it alone, nor do you most of the time want to. Say yes to being open to receptivity, and that's that feminine energy of the Emperor. What are you feeling? This is all about you. The Lovers. You're wanting to feel love. And you see here, it's interesting. There's a bird and there's a human, right? This is love in all shapes, sizes, and forms, whether it's a love for, your animals, a love for your children, a love for the stranger that looks at you in the grocery store and smiles from across the room, whether it's love and intimacy, love in your partnerships, romantic love. This is all around unconditional love, and you want to be able to make choices from the heart. This is Gemini energy as well, but being balanced, having partnerships, having a soul contract, being able to love the people that surround you instead of feeling disharmony, instead of feeling like you're not able to trust people, or you're indecisive, a little bit wishy-washy because of some sort of experience that you may have went through in the past. You want to feel this good vibe, this good energy. But remember, you are that good vibe and good energy. You embody the energy of love because you are love. So make sure, even though it can come in and it will come in if you are wanting to manifest that, but make sure that you realize first and foremost that love isn't always just outside of yourself. It is within you. And when you start to embody that energy of self-love, you're able to attract that love back tenfold. So very powerful here, Sag. Now let's take a look at the external influences. What is going on in your outer world? What's going on around you? The Magician. Things are happening left and right. You may find yourself really utilizing and working with the law of attraction, okay? Some of you, not all of you, there may have been a situation in the past or with this emperor, whatever that emperor means for you, it may have felt a little bit manipulated or controlled, okay? A controlled situation or a manipulated situation can be that Magician. Even misuse of power, misuse of this energy here. But I feel what's happening is you are putting yourself, by understanding, by learning how manipulating, but not in a way that's egotistical, but being able to manipulate what's going on around you, because you are keeping your energy. What you're putting out there is what you're receiving. So if you are saying, yes, I'm attracting love, I am love, I'm going to go out there and say yes to this date, and I'm going to open myself up and be vulnerable and not hold my heart hostage, then you're going to see that things start to shift in your outer world. But when you close down, if you say, I'm never going to attract love, I'm not going to find love, and you stay on your couch and you watch Netflix and eat ice cream on the couch every weekend, then you're probably going to attract nothing in your outer world, no love, right? So what the Magician is saying here is you can use your power to shift up your world and attract what it is that you want, but you can also use your power to attract what you do not want. The choice is yours, Sagittarius. That's the beauty of free will, right? The choice is yours. So that's what's showing up here for you. How will you use your magic this month? Let's take a look at the hopes and the fears. What are the hopes? What are the fears? Sagittarius, please. The devil, the devil. Well, the devil's going to show up in our lives at one point or another. It's how we react to this devil, whether it's mental strife and conflict within our own head, whether it is temptation, addictions, obsessions, fears, codependency, manipulation. It is about you reclaiming your power. That is what's going to be liberating, right? That's what's going to free you up here in order to go forward, steady growth. If there is a situation that you are tethered to, tied to, it's unhealthy, it's not good for you, release it, okay? Because the hope here is that you can reclaim your freedom and move forward. You have that ambitious goal. You can reclaim your freedom. Stay in the moment. Don't let the past stuff interfere with the present, right? It was part of an experience that you had. You don't have to let that define your every waking moment. Now, the devil energy, you can have fun. You can catch what you want in your own weave, whatever, in your own spider web here, in your own web. What energy you are weaving right at this time is what you're going to receive. So let's take a look at the final outcome. What's the final outcome here for Sagittarius, please, in love? All right, Sagittarius, in regards to love, you have the Hanged Man. It's all about perspective, beautiful souls. It is all about surrender, being vulnerable. And if you happen to watch any of your other readings, whether your rising sign, your moon sign, or maybe for a partner, their sign, I do suggest you check them out, because there's a common theme that you'll see playing out within all of them. Even though a lot of the cards are different and the energies can be different, the common denominator, and every time I go into a bigger reading, such as, career readings or love readings or monthly, what is the common theme? I ask for spirit. And I heard vulnerability is going to be the biggest energy of all. So that will tie into every single reading, even though the cards are different. And this is about vulnerability. It is about you being able to surrender to some sort of control, some sort of expectations, or a new way of seeing, thinking, being, believing, because that's where the key to success lies, right? That is about you being able to be that creator and that magician, which we just talked about. So when this Hanged Man shows up, I feel like a lot of you are going to have a completely different view of something that you had 2 months ago. this month, right? You're going to be looking at it from a brand new way. And that's going to be a wonderful thing, because then you can release control. Then you can feel like it's not a sacrifice like you did before. You may have felt stuck. You may have felt like you were in a limbo or you were restricted. But once you gain this new perspective, surrender, and be vulnerable, that's when the game changes. That's when you're really going to see this steady growth showing up in the near future. And I certainly see you doing it, Sagittarius. So pat yourself on the back. You don't always have to be, have that guard up, have that wall up, which sometimes that emperor does, right? He constantly, feels like he has to have every bit and piece of control. And I feel like it's important that you go with the flow versus control, which I will link that video in the description box below. All right, last but not least here, what do we have? So you have Clean It Up is one of the cards showing up, but the one that fell is Synchronicity. So you're still doing the cleanup work. That's what I feel here for you. It's card 21. 21 is the world. You're wrapping things up here. You're closing up a cycle. There's going to be some sort of celebration after a time of setback, feeling stuck, or closure on a situation, and it's going to lead to serendipity, which is card 18, right? Entering the unknown. 18 is the moon. 18 is about taking risks and doing it anyway, doing things that maybe scare you. It may feel vulnerable, but it's not certain. It's not a time of certainty here. It's a time of embracing the new. And this is about opportunity allied with readiness, the awareness of synchronicity, luck and good fortune appearing as signs and symbols. It's a magical alignment of events. And the relationship message is this: Spirit has a plan, and that plan is to place you in front of the right person at the right time. You have met or are about to meet someone vitally important to your journey, someone Spirit wants to bring into your life. Only divine forces can plan this meeting. It is out of your hands, so pay attention to the signs that Spirit presents. Really powerful here. I'm also going to read to you the protection message, because the challenge is the Hermit. And like I said, things rarely ever just land on your doorstep. Rarely. Sometimes, if you're lucky. But I do feel here, not the harder you work, but the more vulnerable and the more that you put yourself out there for risk, the better off you are. And you're going to be grateful you did. But some of you, the protection message is this: perhaps you felt almost certain that serendipitous events were meant to lead to something better. It was supposed to be the perfect person. It was supposed to be the perfect relationship, or the one you gave your heart to was supposed to be the one. Yet it all fell apart. Consider this: sometimes synchronicity and serendipity come together to lead you directly into difficulties in order to deliver an important lesson you need to learn before you hit the jackpot. Don't get caught up in the drama of disappointment. There really is a silver lining. Excuse me. There really is a silver lining in this cloud. Spirit always knows what you need and is guiding you to where you are meant to go. Pay attention to the signs presented to you. Yes, and that's important as you have the chickens here. Remember what we said in the very beginning of your reading: staying in the moment, because when you are in the moment, it's going to allow you to pay attention to the signs that are showing up. Because when we get distracted, when we get sidetracked, when we are focusing on the past, or we are living in the past, or living too far into the future, that creates anxiety and that creates worry, right? And we have a hard time seeing the synchronicities that are right in front of us. That's why you always hear the old saying, you wouldn't know it if it smacked you right in the head, right? And if you are distracted and if you are not in the moment, well, you wouldn't know it if it landed at your doorstep here. So pay attention to the signs and the synchronicities, because you're being guided towards this new path. And if you don't believe you're being guided here, follow this light, follow this trail. And that trail is your soul's path, is your internal navigational system. When you have this forest card here showing up, it's about steady growth, and you are growing, you are evolving, you are maturing, you are learning. That is part of the human experience. That is a huge part of the experience. Don't close yourself off to having those experiences, beautiful soul. Don't close yourself off because you're fearful that you're going to get hurt, or fearful that you're going to get your heart crushed. If you're fearful of those things, could you be fearful that you fell head over heels madly in love and that you have so much joy and so much happiness and so much gratitude for the blessings and the people and the love in your life, right? This is about you being able to grow and embrace the challenges, embrace the highs, embrace the lows, but open yourself up and pay attention to those synchronicities out there because they're pointing in a direction that's going to help you move forward on this path to opening your heart up to love. Thank you so much for tuning in here, beautiful soul. If this resonates, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love.